This episode of the A.T.TIPSCAST is sponsored by TextHelp. Kids struggling with reading and writing? Get them the support they need with read and write software for the desktop, Google, or iPad. These proven software solutions help those with reading and writing difficulties, learning disabilities, or English language learners. Read and Write Gold text-to-speech software provides tools for reading, writing, studying, and research for students while they work within the common applications they use every day. Read and Write for Google provides support tools for Google Docs, PDFs, and EPUBs in Chrome, on PCs, Macs, and Chromebooks to make Google Apps for Education accessible. And iRead and Write makes reading easier and ensures accurate writing as students use their iPad for school, work, or leisure. Learn how the Read and Write family of products can help your struggling student by visiting texthelp.com or by calling 1-888-248-0652. That's 1-888-248-0652. Get a free trial of Read and Write Gold or Read and Write for Google today. Have students with IEPs? Take advantage of the Read and Write Gold IEP Special. Get 20% off a purchase of their online store with the code A.T.TIPS14, save 20. That's A.T.TIPS, the numeral 14, save, and the numeral 20. That's right, they've increased it from 10% to 20% off. This offer expires on June 30th, 2014. Get your copy today. Welcome to the A.T.TIPScast, where we talk about tools that can be used to grab a student's attention. I'm your host, Chris Bouguet. This is episode number 132, recorded on April 4th, 2014. I was contacted by a representative for a company called Evanced Solutions, inquiring about my interest to review a free online tool called Wandoo Planet. The subject line of the email called it the world's first kid-powered genome project. That struck a chord with me. When I discovered that they were putting the tool out for free, I was really on board. I signed myself up to test out the tool, and then, after a bit of exploration, I brought my 6-year-old daughter over to explore the tool as well. The creators of Wandoo Planet asked if I'd be interested in doing an interview to discuss the tool. I was happy to oblige. We got together and recorded a Google Hangout, which is up over on YouTube. You can view it directly at bit.ly/Wandoo Planet interview. That's bit.ly/Wandoo Planet interview. Or you can listen to it right now because it's coming up next. Today I have with me Lindsey Hill from Evanced Solutions. Did I have that right, Lindsey?
That's correct, Chris. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. So tell us, what is Evanced Solutions?
Evanced Solutions started about 13 years ago now, and it is a software company that develops solutions for public libraries, school libraries, academic libraries. Right now we have calendaring and events software currently that we have created over the years, and they're continuing to update that and change those things. We have a summer reader program that is in, I believe, over 9,000 libraries, and now that we're starting to see that it needs some additional changes, that's where Wandoo Planet became kind of an idea that it was more of a recommendation system or a recommendation engine rather than just a place where kids would log their books. So it's a little bit, it has some specific things behind it.
Wait, so you mentioned Wandoo Planet. What is that exactly? Can you tell us more about it?
I can. Well, Wandoo Planet, in fact, I was a teacher up until last June in 2013, and I taught for 14 years, grades 3 to 5, here in Indiana locally, and I walked away from teaching because I believe in this amazing reader discovery platform. It's called Wandoo Planet, what you Wandoo. Because when kids are bored, as my children have been for the last 2 weeks because I didn't take them anywhere for spring break, I ask them what they want to do. And this provides an interest discovery game. And then the kids, based on those interests, will receive content that's relevant to their interests, and it's also age appropriate, of course, too. We know that when kids are engaged in their interests, and we've learned this through research, obviously, and experience, but when kids are engaged with their interests, they're going to transcend reading levels with no doubt.
Sure. When anyone's engaged, they're gonna be better learners, right?
Absolutely, even adults.
So what kind of content is there that they can choose from? What kind of topics or interests?
Well, right now we have over 3,000 interests that are actually in what's called an adaptive learning system algorithm. It's similar to Netflix, Spotify, but for kids.
Okay.
And it through this learning system, and the more kids that play with it, we are currently in beta, so we're trying to encourage as many users as possible. But the more kids age 6 to 14 that play with this program and teach it, the better that it gets, the smarter that it gets, and it starts to recommend a lot better movies and books right now. There's over 12,000 movies and books. I think it's closer to the 10,000 that are books and the other couple are movies. We will, of course, expand this from our best experts, our kids, the kids that I'm Skyping with, like I did right before this tonight. They're giving us feedback, and they want to not only get book suggestions, but they want to know some game titles, even board games that would hit those interests. So we're just trying to provide the recommendation tool for them. We are hoping it motivates them to go back into the system and to go to their library or their school or even to the store and to have those pieces and to consume that content.
So tell me, you mentioned that it's in beta and that you have certain beta users using it. What kind of feedback have they given you so far?
Well, we have a storyline behind Wandoo Planet. In fact, that's part of what we're testing out with the beta 2. Obviously, beta means we are in testing mode. We have a minimally viable product, or MVP, that we have at wandooplanet.com right now. Anyone can get on it. We are in open beta. But what we're looking for is direct feedback right on the site, online only right now, but it'll be out in the App Store eventually. But we're looking for any type of feedback, from what I really love about this piece, or what I really dislike about this, or I can't live without this piece, please give it to me. Even book suggestions. And what's so fascinating with the kids that I'm working with, when I go to schools and when I work with them on Skypes and Google Hangouts, they're giving me suggestions, and I take those suggestions straight to developers and people that are working behind the scenes, and they're seeing the changes kind of right before their eyes, and they love that validation into what they're learning.
Awesome. Again, it's like authentic. Like I made something happen. I made a change.
Absolutely. In fact, there was a recent school in Georgia. The little boy was asking me questions. There were 5 boys, 5th graders. They were becoming ambassadors for their school. They were going to then talk through this program with the other kids that were interested. And so they really wanted, this little boy had read Percy Jackson, and there wasn't there. It hadn't been added yet. So we, of course, took care of that, and now it's added. And what I mean by that, and how the kids add things, is it's the Wandoo Forest on Wandoo Planet, and Winston the Owl gives kids suggestions, recommendations on what they would like to do and what they would like to watch and read. And then Scout the Squirrel actually takes them through an interest game in order to get to that point. They grow a tree that starts out with 3 branches, which are supposed to be their keenest interest based on the game that they play. And then the idea is that the forest is struggling, and it needs the excitement from things kids love to do and kids love to read in order to make it grow, along with light and water and all those good things. But the animals really need their help. And so kids are really attaching to that piece, we're finding in the beta so far. They want to help the planet, but then they also realize that there's some recommendation for things they had never even thought would go together, and that they didn't even think they would be interested in.
Yeah, I have a daughter who's in kindergarten right now, and which I know is a little bit young for Wandoo Planet, right? I mean,
No, actually, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. It's not. No. My kindergartner he's a boy. His name's Camden. He's doing it too, and he loves it.
Okay.
Some of the recommendations are actually right at his level, so I would not hesitate with kindergarten. Our sweet spot is more that 8, 9, 10, 11 age, because reading does drop off according to research and obviously from experience in so many ways. So that's our sweet spot, but of course we want to scale this so that younger kids are involved in it, and even some older kids as we begin past that age 13 to get a little bit more information. We're completely COPA compliant, so we're looking at just getting usernames, a parent email to say, hey, your child is doing this, here's their top 3 interests, and then we completely get rid of that email, and we're not trying to sell this thing. It's actually going to be free.
Oh,
Wandoo Planet, what you see in the beta right now is free and will always be free.
that's
So we're
awesome.
really excited about that.
Yeah, so my daughter, and we played the game where the squirrels come across the screen and they're holding the signs, and you get to choose which your topic. Eventually, she was very into it, very into it. And we watched the tree grow and the owl and picking the different branches and exploring the different branches. It was great. She was very engaged by it, and so was I. Just trying.
Good.
So,
Well,
when are you shooting to launch it and take it out of beta?
so we did a closed beta in January, and about middle of March at PLA, we launched it into open beta. We're not sure on an exact time just yet, but I did hear today that it's going to be sooner than we thought, so we're really excited about that. We're also tying it in with a small launch of Wandoo Reader, which is a connector to our summer reader program, but it's more of a game that encourages kids to read, obviously, and complete events in their libraries and schools. And then they they get to unlock codes to receive robot parts. So it's pretty cool too. We've got a lot going on right now, and we're on actually a 20,000-mile tour across the country. It's called the Banish Boredom Tour. We're getting out into schools and libraries. We started in March at South by Southwest EDU out in Texas.
You did.
And
Awesome.
the crew we drove. Oh, it was such a long drive here from Indiana. But we have Winston the owl, with a life-size owl, and we do Polaroid pictures with him. We have popcorn and temporary tattoos and interest trees, and then of course Wandoo beta signups. We're trying to get quite a lot of kids involved in this, because the more experts, the kids and teachers and their parents and the librarians involved in this, the better that it's going to be for the kids in the long run.
Yeah, like you said, the more students you have involved, the better the choices can be, right? And the more options there will be. Yeah, that's cool.
Absolutely. So yeah, the crew's out in New York right now, and then they're headed to TLA next week. We'll be down in Texas, and then we head up to Iowa to be with another school, back home for a little bit, and then off again. We're going to finish up at the end of June out in ALA in Las Vegas. So very exciting stuff.
The conference.
I'm sorry?
The conference?
Yeah, ALA. Yep, the conference out there. So.
Oh my gosh! So what are you hoping to accomplish by the end? What do you have any goals for the tour?
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness, we have so many goals. But really just getting the word out there about Wandoo Planet. Obviously, we're sharing Wandoo Reader as an additional piece. We want to get as much feedback as possible, and then when we do launch this, which could be sooner than June, we want everybody and anybody to be using this, because we know that when we can provide kids with their recommendations based on their interests, interest-driven learning is key for these kids. I've known it for years as a teacher. Every teacher and every librarian knows it. It's just so hard these days to get through everything else that needs to get done. So we're hoping to just impact a lot of kids. And again, that's why I'm not teaching, because I can impact hundreds of thousands of kids. That's my hope.
Absolutely. It's kind of why I do the podcast. I can reach more people through the podcast than I can just me talking to one person at a time. So let me ask, is your itinerary set for the Banish Boredom tour, or can people sign up for you to stop by?
They sure can. We are of course reaching out to libraries. We are scheduled mostly through April, but we're still looking at May and June for quite a bit. We need some signups. I mean, we have some people in the queue, but I love any and all feedback. If anybody wants to let me know that they're interested, all they need to do is go to evancedkids.com, and then they'll find out more about the information there. But they can also just send me an email. I don't know if I can give you my email address on here, but it's L as in Lindsey Hill, Hill, and it's at Evanced, EVANCED, solutions.com. And I am the reading engagement innovation leader, I suppose, and so I'm kind of taking on this. We only have about 3 or 4 schools right now that we're attending physically. Obviously, we're Skyping with a lot more, and then we have over 25 libraries, but we're open to whatever works out. We're very flexible with this tour.
So do you liaison with the librarians then at the different schools?
Yes, we do. That's what my contact has been so far with the school librarian currently. But I have a couple of teacher friends that I've had through Twitter and various places. So yeah, we are. That's a great place to go because they are connected to so many kids. But what I'm finding with the school librarians is they are so involved in what their kids are doing, and they have a personal connection with them on a daily basis. So they're encouraging those kids to become ambassadors to teach other kids about it. So
Wow.
hopefully a spiral effect will take place with these kids.
Cool. Now, is there something, did I read something about a champion or
Investigator.
Yes.
Yes, and actually you can find that information more on evancedkids.com as well. But we have two different levels of a pilot program that everything is free. In
Okay.
fact, I'll send you some stuff too, Chris, so you can share it with your daughter because we have buttons and bookmarks and all kinds of fun little things. But we're looking for anyone really that can really put Wandoo Planet, whether it's in beta or when we launch it in front of kids, and get involved in it, teach the system. Again, it's going to only get smarter the more the kids use it. And so we have a investigator level. Again, everything's free and we give you everything you need. All you have to do is get the kids for us.
Okay.
And we don't want to know their names or anything like that. We just want them to get signed in. So if an investigator level is kind of dipping your toe in the water, you think you can get about 10 kids signed up. And then there's a process to go through. We'll send you a kit and then you just give us some feedback. But it's very, very simple. The champion level is it's a little bit more children. It's 40 at a minimum. And typically with that, obviously it works the same way. We'll send you the kit and then send you instructions on how to do it. But the best part about both of them is then once we receive your feedback and we receive like a completion of the pilot, we send out free gifts to you guys. And some of those have been some pretty cool things. So we are, everything that we're doing right now is in the benefit of the kids that we're directly involved with.
Yeah, it sounds like it's really an awesome initiative that you're putting out for free.
Yes. Yeah, it almost seems too good to be true, right? But I promise you, it's not. It's incredible. And again, why I am not a teacher. I get to be a teacher to the world kind of right now. So it's been a very exciting journey, and it's really kind of just beginning with this Banish Boredom tour. So we're talking with libraries about other, our core products too. We're not just focusing on the Wandoo Planet, but of course that's a key piece of it, since the Sprinter van that we have is completely skinned with animals. So in fact, on the back it says honk if you love reading. So we're up to 150 honks, I believe, at this point. So
That sounds awesome. So tell me one more time, give us the contact information. People are really interested to get involved. How do they contact you again?
Well, I guess probably the easiest way is you can go to my Twitter. It's at lmhill28. That's me. That's Lindsey Hill. And then you could, of course, go to Twitter at Wandoo Planet. I also oversee some of that. We're on Facebook at Evanced Solutions. And again, my email is lhill@evancedsolutions.com. WandooPlanet.com is where you can get directly into the beta. But more informational pieces would be at evancedkids.com.
All right. It sounds great. I hope people check it out. I'll put all of those links and everything on my blog, the A.T.TIPSCAST.com. I'll put it in the comments below and the description of this YouTube video. And good luck with your product. I can't wait to explore it more, see how it develops, have my daughter and my son get into it a little bit more and really bang on it and give and contribute, really contribute.
Absolutely, and you can get everyone that you can involved, because really it's just benefiting the kids in the end, and they need us to do that. We need them to do that so that we can make something incredible for them. So thank you, Chris, so much. It was nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you too, Lindsey. Thank you. I'd like to thank Lindsey for taking the time to tell us about Wandoo Planet and the Banish Boredom Tour. I hope you check it out and send them some feedback on the tool. Until next time, may all your interventions be inclusive, may all your strategies be supportive, and may your students find topics that interest them.